Hello, and you're very welcome to Millionaire Moms with Lisa Fox. I'm your host, Lisa Fox. This is the show where we get very intentional about becoming millionaire moms together. And with that in mind, I want to just let you know that if you are someone who is planning on becoming a millionaire mom, I've got something that's going to help you to get on the path to achieving just that. I'm now enrolling my brand new mastermind. And this is for you if you're already making 2 to 5K in your coaching business, okay? And you're ready to create, and not just create, but really anchor in those 5-figure months so that they never feel like a fluke. This mastermind is for you if you're ready to step into full alignment with your business, with your ambitions, and with what you've been put on this earth to do. This mastermind is also for you if you are ready to play big, not small anymore, very, very big. If you're ready to not settle anymore, if you're ready to bring your full, fierce self to the table and make your mark in this industry. My mastermind is called the Lioness Mastermind, of course. It's a 6-month high-level mastermind for coaches starting in September 2022. You'll find the link to find out more and book a call with me so that I can hear the exact volume of your roar and so that we can decide together whether or not this mastermind is the very best thing for you to get you on your path to becoming a millionaire mom. So today I want to talk to you about the magic that happens when you start taking yourself seriously as a businesswoman, okay? Because let's face it, what do all of us women struggle with when it comes to business? I would absolutely 100% get behind the idea that the biggest struggle we have is taking ourselves seriously in business, right? Because we're not supposed to, are we? That's not what we were taught to do. When we refer to our businesses, we kind of, a lot of the time, refer to them as almost like an old piece of clothing, oh, this old thing. We refer to our businesses as if they're nothing, as if, you know what, I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, if I'm creating any sort of success in my business, women are often likely to say, oh, it's just a fluke. It's a fluke. Oh, my business is a bit of a hobby. And let's face it, women in business a lot of the time are either, and not always, and this is certainly not how I operate these days, but a lot of the time, they're either not making money or not very much of it, or if they are making money, they're making out as if it's a complete accident or a fluke. And maybe it's not so much that they're making it out. Maybe they truly believe that it's an accident and a fluke, and it's got nothing to do with them, their talent, their power, their energy, who they are. Does this resonate? Does this resonate for you? Be really honest. If you have a business, are you taking yourself seriously? Are you taking your business seriously? I know for me, I used to have a business called Glee Club, and it was a performance arts school for children. And I set this business up not taking it very seriously. In fact, I would not have called myself a businesswoman. I don't even know if I would have called my performance arts school a business. The intention that I set that business up with was just to support me as an actor. I needed a way to make money as I forged my acting career. And when I think back to it, so when I started it, I was starting my acting training, right? So I was at the beginning, I'd say in the first year of my acting training, somebody in my hometown asked me, would I teach an acting class for children? And I thought, yeah, I know enough to teach acting to children at this point. And so I was like, yeah, sure. At the time I was working full time, and I was training to be an actor part-time. And so I put on I actually advertised one class in one school. I said, but sent out like handmade like leaflets, basically A4 pages with the same thing printed on it 4 times. And I just cut it up into four. And I sent, I think there were 200 children in the school that I sent these flyers to. And each child went home with one of these flyers. And my intention was to have a class. And I thought, well, if I get 20 kids, then I have a class. And actually 40 kids signed up for that. And very, very quickly, I mean, within a couple of months, I very much realized that I was matching my full-time income, my full-time salary from my full-time job with these two classes. And I thought it was almost the same amount of money. I thought, well, if I put on another couple of classes, that will mean that I only have to work this amount and I'm making more money than I was in my full-time job. And when that happened, I gave up the full-time job. Gone. But for me, it was all about supporting myself as an actor. And I remember all the way through acting school and the first few years as an actor, my friends and colleagues would say, oh my goodness, you're so good at business. You're making so much money doing very little. And, you know, how did you learn how to do that? And you're amazing. Da, 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 da. And I did not identify myself like that at all. In fact, I would just sweep it away. I was like, I know nothing about business. I literally just put on a couple of classes and I was lucky people came to them, and completely discredited myself for, number one, having the audacity to put on those classes. Number two, doing the marketing, even though it was very rudimentary marketing, doing the marketing, putting myself out there, somebody who could teach a class. And number three, actually being an amazing teacher. And not just an amazing teacher, but I was incredible. And I always have been incredible with people. So I was so good with the parents as well. And that is how I built my business. I built that business through, let's face it, word of mouth, because I was there, like I definitely wasn't doing any online marketing. And the marketing that I was doing offline was flyers, maybe once a year. So it was word of mouth that was selling my classes. And so really, when I think about that business, it wasn't my intention to have a business. It was just my intention to have an income. And whenever anybody referred to it as a business or me as a business woman, I was like, you're crazy, you're mad. That's not it at all. In one of my conversations with my interviews with my millionaire moms, Gabby told me that her first business was a design business, and she calls it her accidental business. And it's the same concept. She set that business up when she was on maternity leave. I think she told me it was never meant to be like a full-time business. It was never even meant to be a business. But very quickly she realized that she was replacing her full-time lawyer income with this design business. And for her, she was making like 150K from her accidental business per year, but couldn't get past that. And she put that down to not really taking herself seriously in business. And I know that that's a huge part of what was holding me back as well. Because for me, what happened when I finally decided, okay, this is a business. So I had gotten to a point in my acting career where I became quite successful. And then I got pregnant and decided I didn't want to act anymore, right? And so I thought, well, let's just go all in on the business, right? Let's actually take this seriously. Let's actually see how much money I can make when I go all in with it and treat it like an actual business. And very quickly, in fact, immediately when I decided to do that, I doubled my income, right? Just by taking it a little bit more seriously. And then, of course, it went on, and I'm not sure if I ever quite tripled my income, but like doubling it was like, and that was just from the decision of going, okay, I'm going to take this a little bit more seriously, because if I'm not acting anyway, I may as well be doing something. And my business was still only part-time, so I could easily manage having one child and this part-time business I could work around. But the problem with that business for me, even after I started taking it seriously, was that I like Gabby, I kind of couldn't scale it past a certain point, right? And I knew that I wanted to do something else. I knew that there was something more aligned for me. And that is the business that you are seeing me in right now. And so when I started this business, I started it with a very different mindset, right? I started it and I set out taking myself and the business seriously. I started calling myself an entrepreneur. And even when that didn't feel totally comfortable, I was like, well, this is what I'm doing. I am focused on making a change in the world, making an impact, and building actual wealth here. What else is a business for, right? Um, I started monitoring what was working in the business and what wasn't working. And I started looking at things that, like, okay, this is working a bit, but could I do it better? If I did it this way, could I scale it? And I started being very, very intentional within the business. I also started making a lot more decisions. Where in my previous business, when I wasn't taking it serious, I was just like, whatever. Like, whatever way it sort of happened, whatever seemed to work for other people, I was like, yeah, I'm happy to go along with that. Whereas with this business, I have been so much more intentional and have really made a lot more conscious decisions. And what I've really learned is that in business, it's one of the most important skills that you can have, is just to make decisions and execute decisions. And it doesn't always matter whether the right decision or the wrong decision. In fact, it doesn't really matter at all, because every decision leads you to something. Once you're in action, you're in motion, you're actually manifesting, right? And even if something is a mistake, it leads you down a road. And I always say, and I think I got this from the amazing Denise Duffield Thomas, if you're not earning, you're learning. So if you don't earn, you learn, right? And so I took that lesson and took that mantra and took it to heart. And I really decided that I was going to make some serious coin with this business, right? Yeah, sure, I didn't know whether it was going to work or not, but that was my intention. And I decided it gets to get better and better. I get to make more and more money. This is a smart business model that I'm setting up here. I can scale this. And if anybody can do it, I can do it, right? And the difference between that old business that I wasn't taking seriously and I wasn't taking myself seriously within it, and between that and the business that I have now and how seriously I take it and myself, is astounding. It is an astounding difference. The proof really is in the pudding. My previous business, I did it for survival. I did it for bread and butter while I was focusing on something else. Now I've made multiple six figures in 16 months, right? The millionaire moral of the story. I want you to start taking yourself seriously, even if it's uncomfortable. You're just making a decision that you're doing the thing, right? Even if it doesn't feel real at first, even if you don't quite believe it at first, you can decide. You can decide you're starting again. You can decide that you're not just making pin money. You can decide that you're not just supplementing your husband or somebody else's income with your little business. You can decide that you're not playing around with this anymore. You're not playing around with this business thing. This is your business. You can decide that you're not just doing your business as a hobby. You can decide that you're taking yourself and your business seriously. And when you take yourself seriously, others follow. But it has to come from within you first, right? You are allowed, you have permission. You are allowed to do this. You have permission to take yourself seriously. You're allowed to be a breadwinner, right? You're allowed to take yourself seriously. And if you're struggling with this, I want you to just journal it out. Me, little old me, how can I start taking myself more seriously, and then take those action steps to do that? I don't, I mean, I've journaled on this many times, and loads of different stuff comes up depending on the day about why I wasn't taking myself seriously in my previous business. And I think that there was a core belief that the woman can't be the main breadwinner. or can't intentionally set out to be the main breadwinner, that it's sort of the man's job. When I say it, it sounds so ridiculous. Man's job to be the financial rock. Did I think that if I was a businesswoman and identified myself as such, that I wouldn't be taken seriously as an actor, that I wouldn't behaving properly as a mother? Those were all subconscious beliefs. I didn't go around thinking those thoughts, but they were running the show. And it was really, I couldn't have found them without journaling it out. So you got to ask yourself, why am I not taking myself seriously? And then rectify the situation. Okay. Just before I let you go, if you are watching this episode on YouTube or if you're watching part of it on Instagram, I want you to come to the Millionaire Moms with Lisa Fox Facebook group, because in there, that's where you're going to get all the exclusive content. That's where you're going to get access, primary exclusive access to all these episodes. This is where you're going to get free masterclasses and free workshops and so much more. I have enjoyed this immensely. I will see you next time. Mwah.